Okay, video 2. I can't hardly open my mouth, so if I'm talking kind of funny, my falls. I've been fall. In April, when I fell, and I broke my bone in my back, which is still broke, and it's painful, okay? Then I hit so hard that I swallowed a tooth, but I hit so hard that I hairline fractured, like, my upper jaw of my teeth, okay? And so, but actually, that started last year when I fell off that deck. I fell down those 10 steps of that deck, and I went right down. That was my first, oh my God, I think I broke my hip fall, when I said, what age do we all of a sudden go to the hip thing? Not my hip. That's when you're getting old. I didn't realize when I fell, I must have hit so hard, and I probably hairline fractured them then, because that's how hard I hit. And from having severe, my teeth were just so beautiful, but having severe sinus infections for all these years, they always settle in the pockets of my teeth, okay, in my jaw. And so then with those titanium plates all through my back, from my neck all the way down to those cages, this is so miserable weather for me right now. All that combined, okay, it was just a happy coincidence, right? All of that combined. So, in June, July, I fell again. Okay. I chipped more. Literally, they were just like, bam, just chipping, just kind of going like this. I was like, oh my gosh. So I don't go anywhere anyway, but I really don't go anywhere now. And I'm like, okay, Lord, well, obviously you got some more to tell me, so I'm with you. But I'm like, Lord, I can't even take this. It's really hard for me to eat. It's really, really hard for me to eat. But I just go right to Him every day, because I know that He'll take care of it. I truly, truly do. And my brother died October 30th. And my brother Bob, my special brother, the one I told you that he just, like, really childlike. He was 6 years older than I am. I'm 54, and his birthday was November 16th. He would have been 60. But he was just, just kind of went through life, and those people that, you see the two people, like, walking down the street and sitting waiting for the bus, and you're like, oh, look, they found each other. It's kind of like my brother. But I love him. But he's so sweet. He would come over here, 3 or 4 times a day. 3 or 4 times a week, and he'd be here for hours and hours and hours. He was the one that was Jehovah's Witness, and I finally flipped it, because he got it, because he was here. He would be here and see what the Lord was teaching me. We'd be watching a simple Christian movie, or talking about the Bible, which we did all the time, of course, because that's what I do. And then stuff would come out of my mouth, and I was like, I didn't even know I knew that. Oh my God! And he would see it. He was here. He was just a witness to me. Okay. But anyway, he had a heart attack, just like that. He had a great day going, and he got married. He got remarried June 1st, and she's so sweet. She's so sweet. She's a little hard communicating because she speaks Spanish. She speaks English, but it's broken in there. And so I do the typical, well, I talk loud. Okay, well, I'm like, I have to remind myself she's not deaf. We just don't, totally understand what you're saying. So, but she has been, she's devastated, she's just devastated. That was her Brad Pitt. That's what I said. I said to my other siblings, shame on them. Shame on them. But I just have to pray about it and give it to God. But I couldn't stand him going out it was just a hard time. He would come here because he wanted to work getting better about about what could he do to get back in their lives. He just wanted to get back in my other brothers and sisters' lives because, they just didn't pick up the phone when he called, and they pretend they weren't home when he came over. One of my brothers, I know for a fact the last time he saw him was last year, and they were in Walmart, and they happened to see him. Now, my brother that passed didn't see them, but they saw him, and they ducked out, so they didn't have to stop talk to him. Well, that was the last time that he saw him. So he was crying. He was crying hard, because I know that's what he's going through his mind. And the last thing I said to him, I saw him that Friday night, because he was here like 6 hours, right? We're all about watching Elvis, because I'm totally, I'm totally about Elvis being alive, right? It's a whole nother fun thing, but the last time I said, I kissed him, and I said, I love you. He always tells me he loves me. He says, you're my best friend. You're my best friend. And I said, I know. And he said, I love you. And I said, I love you too. And I kissed him. And the next day he had texted me, because he always brought me food, because he knew I was hungry all the time, because I never have any food. And so he's like, let me bring you back some Chinese. Well, I missed the text. I didn't see it for like an hour or two later. And I said, oh, maybe tomorrow. Rain check. Well, he died then. He died the next day. So, but I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for him, because that's what death is. It's going home. Death is going home. We just can't, understand it, but it's going home. And so I'm just so happy for him. And this all started with the death of my son, death of my son, Trey, who died January 7th, 2005. And it was God calling me into the wilderness, right? And that's when I started my chasing the heart of God, to understand. I needed to know him. Not what I obviously thought, because I thought I was doing everything right, and I just thought he had me, right? And it's not. It's because he loves us. He's got to. He gives us so much time. And at some point, he's got to say, okay, well, time's up. Now I got to get you here. So he allows things to happen, because a lot of times we can't continue to walk in ignorance. It's our seeds, and it's the fruit that you produce from that seed of. And that's why I said at my brother's funeral, a death is not to punish. A death is a gift. It's the beginning of life. It truly, truly is. It's not the end of life. The end of life here on earth, but it's truly the beginning of life. And it's to leave seeds for those that are left behind. But it's are you gonna take that seed, and are you going to plant it, and are you going to keep it watered? That's the whole thing. You can talk about heaven and how beautiful it is and paradise and all that, but when you're in deep grief mourning, and you're hurting, okay, well, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't get there right now. I'm so sad. I cried for 2 years when my son died. I was inconsolable. I couldn't talk to anybody. I mean, I literally, from the time I woke up, the time I went to bed, I cried. So devastated. Take my son. Take my son. What a gift. What a gift. What a gift he gave me. A gift. So it's the seeds that I took from that, and that I planted, and that I watered. The whole thing about it is you got to water them. You got to get that tree to grow. Then that tree that is produced by that seed starts to produce fruit, and when you eat off that fruit, it's having that good harvest. And so I said that at his funeral. I said, what you're eating now is the fruits that were grown from the seeds from my son Trey's death. And this is my harvest. So I hope the fruit was good. And I took, because it's just hard to get, though, from that devastation, that broken heart, and to see, that heavenly, beautiful place, home, that talks of them finally going. You know, it's yeah, I know, but I'm sad right now and I don't know how to get there, you know. So you can't truly see it. Plant that seed, water that seed, take care of that seed, and watch it root. And seeds they grow this way, right? But it's the roots that grow this way. Meaning everything is up and down. Okay? Boom. For it to grow, for something to grow, it takes root in darkness. Seeds are in the dark. Again, that's our left, our going through that dark cave that we don't really want to go into because it's all really dark. But you got to go there because it's just like a seed. A seed starts to grow with their roots, and the roots is what keeps it alive. A root is what gives it the growth, so that those roots grow in the dark dirt, right? Cold, damp. But look what blossoms and blooms from it. Okay, it's the twofold. Boom. That's what it is. So you cannot be afraid. You have to go and look at the roots of something. Okay? You have to. You have to. You don't know what trees you're eating off of. You don't know what fruit you're eating off of. But there's one side has to grow in that dark place. Okay? Because that dark place is what springs the beautiful growth and the nourishment in the beautiful place. That's what it is. So, but it was just a sad time. It was a sad time. And so after all the flower shenanigans of it, you know, I guess they just didn't think he deserved to have beautiful flowers, you know, and stuff. But and being the poorest of everybody now, yes, at one time I wasn't the poorest, right? And so I would have been happy. I paid for everything. I was happy to pay for it. But now, I don't. But I went ahead and paid for them, and my family didn't reimburse me any of them. And no, I take that back. I take that back. 3 gave me some to it, yes, but because of the language barrier between me and his wife. I told him I was going on that Wednesday. I was going to order all the flowers, and she texted me and said that she could not come. Go ahead and order them. Okay, well you get everything, you know, in the same patterns, right? In the same colors, and one for the casket spray, and I mean the whole thing. So that's what I did. And then I said, well, they have to be paid for by 11 o'clock on Friday, so make sure that you send to the florist here, blah, blah, blah. And I went to a Spanish-speaking florist, okay? A woman who does it on her own and, you know, struggling. And, well, come Friday, guess what? She didn't get the flowers. She was like, oh, I went ahead and ordered my own. You can't do that at the last minute. What do you mean you ordered your own? I ordered your own. What? But they still had to be paid for. It was like a lot of money. And so I had 17 cents I'm on disability, right? So right when the day I got my check and paid my rent and my utilities, then I took some of that actually to pay for the flowers. I had 17 cents for the whole entire month. That's what I had. So everybody had to bring me food. Everybody was bringing me food. I literally had nothing. I could nada. So, but his wife, bless her heart. And you know, I was like, God will take care of it. He'll take care of it. She would bring me food every day because then she realized the extent of it. You know, she realized what really happened. And so she'd bring me food every day. And so sweet. Her name's Syria. Pray for her because she just truly is. What a good-hearted woman. Oh. And so now she says, now I'm your best friend. I said, yeah, now you're my best friend. So now I have Syria. So, and she's very lonely, and I understand that. I mean, it's her Brad Pitt. He might have been our Brad Pitt, but he was her Brad Pitt. Okay? It's the love of her life. She's 45 45, never been married. 46, never been married. So, she was in love. But anyway, that's what I've been up to. So, my point to that was to knowing what it's all a test. It's all a test. You know, things that happened and occurred during this whole thing of that with family, which I won't get into. It's very hard, very, very hard. And so I could sit there and just go back and forth and back and forth. But why? I'm engaging in something that has a root to it, that has a negative. Okay, it just has a negative. I'm not going to go it. Think what you want to think, do what you want to do, but I'm just done with it, moving on. And that's what you have to do. You love them, you keep them at bay, you love them, but you go on. Okay, see, and people, and when you go through your life, and the people that we've loved, we've been really blinded to a lot. We've loved them for so long. Sometimes we see that darkness in them. We see that stinkiness in them. Okay? And you know, if you're really honest, you've seen it before, but it was never to you. You know how they are, but it was always to other people. Then all of a sudden, when you see it really forward, center, right in your face, you can never unsee it again. You know, it's always there. That darkness is always there. And so he puts it right in front of your face. And that's what happened. I saw some darkness that, and it makes me sad. It makes me so sad. But I can't change him. I can't change him. I can pray. We have just the power of prayer. I can pray, and I can ask him to. But I can't do anything about it. So, anyway, it was just a very difficult time. But now we're coming in to a very good time. And I just couldn't believe he beat me there. I said, I cannot believe you beat me to him. As I was looking over him at the funeral, I was like, I just can't believe you beat me I can't believe you beat me here. You know? But I cried and I said, who am I going to talk to now? Who am I going to talk to now? You know? Because I always say Bob was a tester of how people treated him. So watch those people out there you make fun of, okay, that they're out there and you don't understand them and you crack jokes. I always say they're testers. And how compassionate you are to them or how judgmental you are to them. That goes down your tester. Fail, 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 pass, pass, pass. So I don't care what you want to say. Don't swallow it and say something else. Because they're testers. And my brother was a tester. I totally know that. Anyway, it's a story. But now we're going into Hanukkah. Okay? And so Hanukkah is that lighting of that menorah. But it's that cleansing. It's that cleansing time. Okay? So go read the Maccabees. It's so prophetic. I can't even take it. Because early on, it's about what once in that temple. Okay? What once in that temple. Now, the New Testament. Okay? If you guys have not read the Lost Gospels, I'm going to say this. This December 1945 was the first discovery of them. It's been 71 years. 71 years, a very prophetic number, okay? It's receiving, it really means receiving heavenly wisdom. Receiving heavenly wisdom. In the Strongs, that's what it means. Okay? 71 years. Now, it's when the Lost Gospels were discovered. those writings were for the friends of Jesus. They were for those that they were gifts. It's what the Spirit was saying. That's written in the Bible. The lost Gospels is the true. They're not in parables. Okay, he only spoke in parables, right, in the New Testament. The lost Gospels, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Nag Hammadi Library, all that, those are the writings. They're not parables. He's explaining the parables in depth. It's heavenly wisdom. That's what it is. Heavenly wisdom. Now, the thing is, there's a process to understand those. Because when you first read them, because if he doesn't blow on it, and if you don't understand this process, okay, if you're trying to mix your earthly understanding and teaching, you have a wall up, you have a fence up already, because you're reading it, but you don't want to get too close to it. You kind of keep it like at bay, you know. How do I get sucked into this if it's false? If this is false, then and bad, I don't want to get too close. I don't want to get sucked into it. You know what I mean? I don't want that on me. We all do it. So you can only read it. Very limited understanding. Very limited. When you, again, start finding the breadcrumbs that he's leaving, you stand in the faith that I talked about on the first video I just did, okay, you get strong. You get strong in him because you know he's got you and you know he's going to teach me, okay? So then bit by bit, that wall starts coming down. The cataracts start coming off of your eyes, okay? And so you start understanding what these really mean. It's incredible. I'm telling you, it's the most fabulous thing you've ever received. It is truly the heavenly wisdom. And so then, when I go through and I go, oh yeah, that's that. They're wonderful, but there you go. And they were hidden. Of course they were hidden. This heaven is hidden from things of the earth. Okay? From the flesh. Because the flesh doesn't enter. Meaning the flesh doesn't receive that what is heavenly. You have to, starve the flesh and you feed the spirit, right? Right. Okay? So unless you're serious and have done that, then you're not ready for that to blow, to release that. But that's what the lost gospels are. Okay? They're the truth. They're the heavenly truth. Now, again, up there, they played out here. It's going to happen up there, because that's where the real deal is. That's where the real deal is. It's up there. It's where the real battle is. It's up there. So, it's the names, okay? In the Bible, people have a name similar to, one of the ancients of old. Someone have a name similar to, and they're likened to somebody from the Old Testament, Well, they're just not likened. You really have to put them as the same. Okay, you do. You got to put them as the same. But like it's the women. I'm telling you, you got to see what the women hold. The Marys. We always talk about the Marys of the Bible. Mary the mother, Mary the sister, because that was Lazarus' sister. There's Mary and Martha. Okay. And then Mary Magdalene, okay? So they're really, and all three of them were there at the foot of the cross when Jesus died, okay? You have to put them together, okay? Because they make up the one woman, okay? Meaning the mother, okay, she's from the beginning, okay? The sister, and she's what gave birth, okay? Then the sister, it's in different texts, different views, different writings, it said that Mary was really, and Lazarus and Jesus were childhood friends. So of course he knew Mary and Martha. They had grown up too. But it was Mary wanted to marry Jesus. Now, you have to, again, take it from an earthly, to a heavenly meaning. So, but she represents the bride. Okay, I mean the one that, the childhood bride, or the childhood, a sister. Okay, so she is the sister. Okay, who sat at the feet and listened to every word that he said. Okay, listened to everything. She just, it's like a sponge. She just wanted to hear it all, right? And so then Mary Magdalene, right? Mary is, a lot of people, well, she represents the whore, the harlot, the prostitute, really. It's a prostitute, okay? But in the Lost Gospels, the Mary Magdalene story, okay, we read it as, they were married? That's his wife? Okay, Mary Magdalene represents his wife, meaning it's the one he healed. It is who the earthly bride, okay, who was healed of the 7 demons, which are the sevenfold spirits that they were given here upon baptism. It's the removal of the earthly teaching and earthly understanding, okay? Removing those demons, okay? Because that's when you have to empty out the vessel, okay? You have to cleanse it, okay? So he removed all of that from the earthly bride, or from his earthly wife, ended up being, right? And this union, this marriage, gave birth to what? A daughter. Because that's what the Da Vinci Code and the whole book of us says. The daughter is truth. The daughter gave birth to the daughter of the true daughter, the true heavenly Holy Spirit, the truth. That's what that means. Okay? That's what that means. So Mary representing that they were married. You take it up a layer and understand what this is. So then people won't read that book. They're like, oh, blasphemy. Which I didn't understand it. I just kept saying, well, I just know that whatever the truth is here, that he'll tell us. And if it's in here for a reason. Okay? Not having a clue what bombshell would drop on my lap, right? Right. It's the whole thing, all of it. But the woman represents all 3 of them. All 3 Marys represent the 3 truths. The 3 Holy Spirit, because it's a female. It's the sister, it's the mother, it's the hidden, it's the daughter. And so it's the revelation. That's what revelation is. It's the truth. But those 3 Marys represent the heavenly daughter. It takes 3 earthly ones to make 1 heavenly one. So that's what all that means. I mean, I could get into it long. I'm not giving you the whole gist of it. I could be here 2 hours talking about that. So you got to put the Johns together. I mean, there's a reason why they're named that. There's a reason why they're named that. So let's go with the story of Mary Magdalene being Jesus' wife. This is why he favored her, and he often kissed her, on the face, or he kissed her on the lips, or he often kissed her, showed her affection. He showed her affection, okay? So let's take Mary. Let's take that. Now, it said that after Jesus died, she was pregnant, right? And she took a boat to cross the ocean, to cross the waters, to cross the sea, into France. Okay, where then that whole story thing. Now, all right. Jesus, he when he died, okay, he left a pregnant he put the seeds out, okay? So he left a pregnant wife, or pregnant bride, okay? Pregnant wife, betrothed, okay? But they've just never been able to complete the birth, right? Because he died, right? So you gotta take it up a level. You gotta take it up a level. So the baby that's being born in Revelation, okay, the baby that's being born, it's not born. I mean, it has to follow that, okay, wherever that baby was birthed at, okay, wherever. Mary, okay, Mary, I mean, yeah, okay, Mary, Jesus' mother, okay, they left, she went to visit Elizabeth, she came back, okay. Joseph went ahead with it, they got married, okay, but then she was 9 months pregnant when they had to journey for the census to Bethlehem. Alright, so that's where the baby was born. You have to put these patterns into place that, because that's the baby in Revelation, okay? It represents, now we're going to go up this way, up here, because it was the earthly, okay? Now we're going to the Christ, okay? Because that's Jesus Christ. Now we're going to the Christ Jesus. We're going to the Christ, and that's what that birth is, right? So it's got to follow the same pattern. So whenever the call for the census is, we're being called home for the census. So whenever that call home for everybody to go to the place from which they came, that is on the journey, and when they finally make it there, just barely, that's when the birth comes. That's when the birth and revelation of the baby is going to come, because it is a repeat of the beginning. The last book in Revelation, right, is the first book. It's Matthew, okay? It's his calendar wheel. It's his wheel. So follow that. I mean, you guys, there's so much out there, because it's just, everybody has a piece. Everybody has a piece. You're just not awake. Okay? You need that spark. You need that flame to start lighting that menorah. Alright? So, that's what it is. We are in between. Remember I talked about this a year ago? Gosh, I didn't even understand the gravity of it. I truly didn't understand the gravity of it. I said we were between the Old Testament and the New Testament. We're in that like dry strip of ground right there. Oh boy. We're not even really there. I mean, that's where I say we're at. But we're birthing something new, okay? Because there's nothing new under the sun. So as long as we're under the sun, it's the same old stuff, just talked in a different way. Again, just what you talk about in church, and it's the same stories, repeated, but just thrown with a little animation, a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Because there's nothing new under the sun. So you have to rise above the earthly sun, okay, that's above the veil, to understand. To receive anything new, you have to look above that, okay? That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. So, the last 5 chapters of the Old Testament too. You gotta read those. It's what happens to us. Okay. Again, I kept saying it's the beginning. He's going to take us back to the beginning. He's doing a big old redo. You know, it's boom. It's the big. It's the redo. Remember, I kept saying redo. It's taking us back to the beginning. Create, redo. Because the whole beginning of Genesis is about what He does with us. It's about when we arrive, when we are finally residents of the kingdom of heaven. Okay, in the spirit of Him, is it? You take the end of Revelation and you go. And it's the whole thing again. Bam. That's what it is. So Genesis really starts with us going back to the beginning and the whole story. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's terrific. Unbelievable. You can't. If you don't understand what's out in the open and what's written right in front of your eyes, how can you understand what's hidden? You can't. You can't understand the mysteries. And he's doing exactly what He said He would do, releasing the mysteries. But people they're not looking above the sun. I mean, they're only earthly understanding and earthly tongues. And I see so many, I know exactly what they're talking about. I know exactly what they mean. I know exactly what they're talking about. But I can't, that's why I said I can't see it happening here. I can only see it up there. Because we're in the land of the dead here. We're in the land of the dead. There's a veil that covers, okay? So how do you, I just think once we get above that veil, once that's removed from us and it no longer blocks the truth, I think from that point, once you know the truth, and then again, that's where the elect, you know, if possible, are going to fall, or are going to be, you know, pulled away, because it's when it's when you're above that veil, and you can truly understand what heaven is about. Okay. Then when you don't follow, you know, what has been given, you know, what path you've been put on, and it's when you falter there, and when you go against God there, I think that's what their judgment there. I don't think it's while the veil of deception is covering us, because it's not a fair fight. It's not a fair fight. As long as that veil, because we don't have a chance. And He knows that. We don't have a chance. We don't have a chance. And He knows that. Okay? So, but it's what you don't see physically because of the covering of the veil that helps you, and at the same time it's what you can see through the veil, meaning you've touched in deeper to the Father, okay, to the Holy Spirit, to the truth, because now that's what lays dormant in us. It's that light in us, okay? And so until you start having that faith and not using your eyes and your earthly ears, then you start to wake up and you start hearing that voice within you, Him, all right? Because it's all there. It's just got to come out. It's that volcano, okay? It's what it's the waters. It's the tsunami. It's the tsunami. And then once you start hearing that, and you're busting out, okay, then you're on the path. Then you're going, okay. But and those that can get there here, even start it here, okay. Wow, it's a reward thing. Bam, it's a huge reward, right? Because He's going to remove that veil. Once you're up there, then everybody's going to be able to see it. Okay, everybody's going to know the truth, and that's when the deception comes out, because people are going to be like, what in the world just happened? This is not what I learned down there. I have been deceived. I have been deceived. Well, okay, I kept saying, hear what the Spirit's saying, but you didn't listen. You didn't hear. You heard what man was saying. You didn't hear what the Spirit's saying. I'm in the Spirit. I'm Spirit here, you know. Meaning not me, but I mean, that's what he's going to say. He's going to say, well, I didn't know you. I don't know you. Sorry about you, but I didn't know you. You know, you didn't light that flame. Didn't use that light. And that's what's going to happen. And that is when everybody's going to feel deceived. So, you got to get that. You got to get that done. But see, people are just content to stay in that darkness. Remember, the evening was before the dawn. The evening, the darkness came before the light. It did. And this is your fountains of the deep. Let them out. This is your fountains. It's your fountains. It's got to water that field and water that heart, you know, that drought. It's all about us. Your walk to Him is about you. I don't care how many groups you're in, what group. It's not a group. It's not a group event. Even though it is a group event, it's not a group event. Your placement in eternal life, everlasting life, is not a group event. It is an individual. Okay? But you're relying on somebody else's team captain, okay, in charge of hosting the events to determine your individual salvation. Okay? Remember this. He flipped the tables. He flipped the tables. That's what the pole shift is. The pole shift is flipping what's the roots. Okay? Let's say northern hemisphere, that's what we're in, right? Northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. So a pole flip is a flip, right? So it's what's bringing what is in the dark, okay, the roots, okay? What is bringing that is in the dark, bring it to the top, to the surface now, okay? And taking what's at the top into the dark, because they gotta. Now it's time for them to understand the roots of it, okay? That's why the southeast is so important. Who's coming from the southeast? Okay? Who's coming up out of the waters? Okay? Who's coming up out of the waters? Who's coming from the southeast? This is that. Now, we're gonna have a pole shift. We're gonna have a flip. This world's gonna just turn in. Well, yeah, the world's gonna turn upside down because he flipped the tables. But it's bringing, again, what grew in that darkness, the roots. Okay? It's going to flip them to the top now. Okay? So good, I can't even take it. So good. That's what all that is. That's what all that is. Please, stop. Stop. You know, there's a lot of them I loved. I love to listen to. But see, I had to get there to get where I was. So I'm not saying what we've learned through other people. Oh my gosh, absolutely not. We had to be taught. They were put there as breadcrumbs on our path. We had to eat the fruit that was laid out for us. Then we had to go on. Okay? But see, people stay. They stay right there. They don't go to the next tree. They don't go to the next one. Okay? They don't go. So they just stay right there. You don't finish your race. You don't finish your race. Again, your race, you're stalled. You gotta leave. You got to leave. You gotta leave them. That's why he says, the man must leave his mother. The daughter must leave her father. Because see, one births. It's about the heavenly birth and it's about the earthly birth. Okay? It's your virgin womb, it's your fertile womb, and it's your barren womb. Okay, so it's what they birth. I don't even know how to explain that more. Because we all are giving birth to something new. Okay, to the truth. It's getting all of the poison out of us. Okay, it's getting all of the parasites, everything out. Why the cleansing of the food, which is not actual food? I mean, it can be, I guess, but I mean, it's what you eat. It's the word. It's the fruit. It's the heavenly understanding, knowledge, wisdom. Okay, the earthly to the heavenly. All right. Again, that's why the sword, the word of God, is always stabbed in the stomach, all spilled out. You have to get that out. You got to get it out, because it's your new wine in the old wine sack. Okay, in the old wine sack. That's what that is. And that's why we get a new heart. Okay, that's why we get a new heart. It's okay. The electric grid that's going to be hit and go out. You know what that is, don't you? It's our connection to God. It's the light as we know it is going to go out. It is the holy, earthly Holy Spirit leaving the building. Okay? Again, it's what that hitting that grid and that time of darkness is about. It's when you are void of the earthly. It's in between places. Okay, it's in between places. So it's when you're void, the lights go out, the grids are hit, when you are no longer connected, okay, to your light source, to your lights, right? So that is the Holy Spirit leaving, okay, departing from you, okay? And then, but you got to get your lights back on, okay? You got to get your lights back on. So you got to start receiving the heavenly grid, okay? The heavenly lights, the heavenly understanding. It's the grid. You got to. It's your menorah, and it's if you look, go and Google and search. So I said, got to do your own homework, guys. This walk is individual. Okay, you can. Really is. It's what you put into it. It's what you put into Him. He's going to give to you. Okay, but if you think for 1 second I'd leave what He gives me to go sit in a church to what it would take everything I had. You understand? I'd probably have to go up there. You know that. It would take everything I had to keep my mouth shut. It would take everything I had to keep my mouth shut. I have a sister. I just pray that God blesses her. Truly do. She's never going to be wrong. She's never going to give it up. It's right here in the Bible. Well, go ahead. You just stay right there where you're at. Makes you think you got. Go ahead. I'm not going to argue with her. I'm not going to argue with her. You just have your earthly eyes. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's going through the whole story of Moses. It's going through who is Joseph. Okay, and Solomon. Remember I kept saying, oh gosh, how many months did I say? There's something between David and Solomon that's a key. It's right there. Something about David and Solomon. Okay. I'm going to have to do another video on that one, because that one's just too good. David wrote Psalms. What is Psalms? He's pleading. Okay, he's pleading. He's asking for forgiveness. He's, take me out of here. Help me. I'm so sorry. I love you. He's doing everything. Okay? It's the call out, cry out. But you have to see it in a heavenly way. And this is, I'm telling you, about it's the angels, okay? And what we know is demons, okay? And I said, we are so ignorant, so don't call out what we do here, and we plead the blood and we do all that stuff. I'm not saying we're not supposed to, and not saying the same. But what I'm saying is, you better know exactly what you're doing, okay, and who you're calling out, because I just think that the churches are calling the wrong ones, okay. I think that because they're all sleeping. They're all sleeping. And so, I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying all. I'm not saying all. Sometimes I might say all, but I don't mean like all exact. Every single one. I mean in a general, mostly all way, a very high percentage of them. Because they don't understand the Bible. They don't understand the Bible. And they don't understand how he's telling his story. And I love that I had read somewhere where it said his story, history. It's history. His story is history. And as I go back and I read about the United States, the American Revolution, again, so divinely orchestrated, I couldn't even begin to get into that. Every single war, changing of the lands, the coming over, they bring in their seeds, all of these, and see, you have to know the Jewish side. You got to know the Jewish side, the rabbis, because again, it's always the left and the right. This lineage of rabbis and this side of rabbis, what they did, when did they come over here, when did they come over there, where did they come from, who did they marry, their whole thing. It's retelling his story. He is retelling his story up to today. Just what you read in the Old Testament, okay, is it's today. Okay, if you would have gone to God school, okay, and you could see what he has done, it is the story. It's his story. All the way through history is his story. You just gotta find out the characters and who they are. Now he has to do that. Once you start knowing his patterns and knowing and learning, you gotta go to God school, okay, and he's got to teach you. I mean, it is a total spirit in the spirit thing, and he teaches you. I'm no different than you guys. I'm no different. I just didn't stop. I just chased the heart of God. It's about your prayers. It's about your prayers to him. It's about your to him. So, up until today. Now, the Ring of Fire. I found out why the Ring of Fire is so crucial. The Ring of Fire is where everything started. It's where everything started. Okay? Ring of Fire. This West that we think is, the last, the newest baby country, the last, it's really not. It's one of the original places. Okay? It's really one of the original places. So, it's amazing. And the queens, again, the daughters of the kings. They were always the pawns in history. The daughters of the kings were always the pawns. Okay? They were always the pawns because they are the truth, are the word, are the doctrine. Okay? At that time. They are the truth. And so they are just given to this husband and that husband. And who rules? The husband rules. Okay? Ruler, and the daughter is just married, off to this one, off to this one, off to this one, and off to this one, or they are just sold into slavery, or they just are sold to be sacrificed. It's always the daughter. This daughter represents the truth, the word, the. So, and again, the Middle East, that's why the daughters are always veiled. You can't see them. They're hidden. Okay, they're hidden. So, it's why on history. And that's why so many people kept going back to, what's the Queen Isabella? Queen Isabella. I don't know how many Christians, when they start going back, they always end up going to Queen Isabella. Because now I understand it, because she is so crucial. She's so critical. I mean, she's in the peace, okay? Because she's the one that sent them out to the new land. So good. So good. Again, okay, scripture, chapters, and verses, they are dates. Okay? Now, may not be obvious dates, because then you get into, the double-digit numbers that are up there past months and whatever. But that means they are a day count, okay? Or they are a year, all right? Those are, they all have to do with dates. They're a time. Okay? They're a time. That's what they are. I watch them all. You can once you figure the pattern out, you can just match them. You can just match them all. Especially going through history, because that's already it's already done. You can go through and you can match them totally on the pages of history, and how they matched on those days. And it's going to happen again. Okay? It's going to happen again. But, and then, 33 may be the 33rd year. It may be a 33rd day, But you guys, if you've only stayed in your little cell, in your little imprisonment of being bound to just one book or half of one book, meaning the New Testament is really, some people only read the Old Testament. Crazy, because that's where all the good stuff is. You have to know it. You have to know it. Because if you don't, you cannot fully understand the New Testament. He came to get it. It happened. But the New Testament is what's, bam, it's going to happen up there. Okay? So that birth in Revelation of the baby is Jesus being born. Okay? And he was delivered when everybody was going along the roads, the different paths. They were all going home from where they came, from where they were born. Okay? So, again, bam, your pattern. Okay? So, him, when he was born, and then then the three kings came. Gifts. He was sent to Egypt for 3 years. Okay, remember how I said here are these layers going up? Okay, so, bam, baby's taken, in Revelation, shot up into heaven, okay? But, because now the baby, the birth, the truth, it's the truth, up there. But now, wherever we think the kingdom is, or whatever's going on, is not. I kept saying, it's different. So then they had to go down to Egypt, okay? That is going down, bam, it's going down to that first level, that first area where now, for 3 years, it's 3 days. Okay, let's say 3 days, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 days, 3 hours, 3 weeks, 3 years. It's all going to follow that pattern. So if he was sent from where he was born, okay, and he had to flee to Egypt. Okay, Egypt is remember I said we are in Goshen, right? Okay, we are in Goshen, so we got to get up to Egypt. Remember I kept seeing that top layer of the roof up there, and I kept calling that earth, but really it's Egypt, because that's where we got to, Exodus from. All right, that's where that's where Mary and them, when they left the cave, after Jesus was born, but they had to escape to Egypt. That's it. That's it. That's Egypt. It's Egypt, but it's higher up. I mean, I don't know exactly what they are, but they're the levels like of the atmosphere. They're the heavenly realms. They're the realms. And so whenever in the Bible, when he started going and he would cross waters from land to land to land to land and all that, it's incredible. It's given everybody the truth. It's given everybody the truth. Okay? The understanding and the truth. That's what it is. So, let's do good. I can't even take it. Hope you got this. Hope you got it. I don't even think I get to talk about what I really want to talk about. I don't have to take a break, and maybe I'll do another one to finish up. But I can't remember what I was originally going to talk about. About how to match. Okay. Now, Solomon. He was the wisest king, right? Okay, he was known for his wisdom. Now, but who also has the word wise in their title? The serpent. The serpent. Okay, you got to put these two together over here when you're trying to put these puzzles together. Okay, well, Solomon is known as the wisest, and so is the serpent. So you got to put them in their own little box over here, okay? Because they are connected. Bam. Okay? They're connected. This is how you got to go through everything. When they're likened to somebody, they're likened for a reason. Okay? Likened for a reason. It's just how it's written. Because it's not going to come out and say, the heavenly truth is hidden from us. We just have the earthly understanding of it. And I just don't, I can't argue with anybody. I can't, because it's not my truth to give. I can only share what I've been given. Okay? Sharing the fruit. I am. And this, and whether or not you choose to believe it, I say, I truly, truly hope you do. If you don't, it's okay. Because he'll show you. He'll show you. He's kind of giving you a little shortcut, I almost can't watch. I mean, I just even going through history, I can just see it. I can just so see it all. So don't sit here. Please do not get upset. Don't get worried. Take your sight from earthly to heavenly. Okay, take it. Know what that tsunami is. Know what a drought is. Know what all those things are. Know what they are. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Mwah!